Hello and welcome to this video. I want to take some time and answer a question for a broader audience that was asked of me in the live sessions that I teach on modeling for venture capital. In my class, one of the things that we cover are the different types of investments a startup may commonly receive. This includes things like traditional price securities, convertible notes, and safes. Within that, we talk about the different key pieces of terminology like valuations, raise size, caps, discounts, and a few other terms that go into it as well. It can be a lot of information to cover, especially if you're someone who's never heard these terms before. And a question I received from one of my students is, what of this information should founders be expected to know by the time they're raising funds? I think it's an excellent question, and so I wanted to actually address it here and then share that video publicly. So let's start out with, how should you be trying to learn key financial topics as a founder versus an investor? Starting with the investor piece, generally what you're going to be doing in your job is looking at a lot of different types of financing arrangements, different kinds of companies, different deal structures, and that means that you don't want to just understand a single situation. It's better if you can build a broader thematic understanding. This is generally how safes work, or generally how price securities work. And then for a specific deal, I can hone in and get a deeper level of knowledge on the specific nuances of what I'm seeing. For the founder side, it can often be much more narrow and specific. Now, there's always going to be this phase where you're negotiating things like what's even the right type of security or what's the valuation. But once those terms are set, you don't need to understand the whole array of different types of outcomes you could look at. You just need to focus on the ones most relevant to you. That said, to be clear, if you're a founder and you don't know how these things work and you're negotiating with an investor who does, they have an advantage over you. They are coming into the negotiation with a specific piece of knowledge that's very relevant to this deal that you don't have. And because of that, many investors aren't going to sit down and explain the different dynamics to you because, frankly, that would weaken their negotiating position. Don't get me wrong, some will. Some are the kind of people that want to help others and want to see the founders be successful. Frankly, I think that's morally a positive thing. At the same time, you have to be very pragmatic and go, a lot of investors are going to look at you not understanding the different types of valuation, the different types of securities, for example, not knowing the difference between a convertible note and a safe, and they're going to take advantage of that to get a more favorable term sheet using terms that you don't fully understand. So all of this is a long way for me to make a simple point. If you're a founder and you're looking at raising funds, no one is going to sit you down and tell you that you need to learn these things. That said, you not knowing these things and going into a negotiation will put you in a weaker position than the other person on the other side of the table who does know those things. For that reason, it's valuable for you to at least try to build an introductory level of knowledge into the core types of investments you might receive in venture and the key terms frequently used, specifically pre-money valuation, post-money valuation, fully diluted ownership, and understanding the basic types of securities like a price security, a safe, and a convertible note. In the future, I'll try and add additional videos where I talk through the different questions that I get asked in my class that I think are worth sharing with a broader audience. But that's all I have for this topic. If you're curious in learning more, I advise you to check out my website, which I'll link in the description of the video, to see if there's an ongoing class or a pre-recorded course that might help you with your specific needs.